Hello boys and girls, welcome along to the show once again. It's Chris Reardon with you, United Kingdom Talk, and once again we're out in the garden. The only thing is I'm not sure if I've made the right decision. Now, it was rather sunny earlier when I came out here, and it's clouded over and it's suddenly got a bit windy. So I'm a little concerned that we may be caught in a deluge, but don't worry, we shall move inside if that happens. I'm not quite sure how that's going to happen. Also, you may notice I've done the washing today. All the stuff is hanging out behind me. It's all on there. You'll notice there's no. You may not. Actually, I don't know if you can see or not. Let me just see what's up here. Actually, I can't remember what I put up there. Well, we've got socks. We've got swimming trunks. They're on the end there. We've got socks. We've got tracksuit bottoms. We've got t-shirts, and there's a tea towel as well, right at the very end. So there's all my washing today. Now you're wondering why. Well, because I am an ordinary person. A lot of people think I'm an international celebrity, and I've got servants to do all this sort of stuff, but I really haven't. I like to try and live like the normal person. Now, being normal I've found always very difficult, but I do my best. Now, you'll probably notice that there were no smalls, there were no pants. Don't wear them. Can't see the point of it. It's just another item to wash, isn't it? Eh? And talking of clothing, I think for the first time this year I am actually today colour coordinated. Oh yes, if I can describe the picture to you, I have one of my favourite t-shirts on. I say t-shirts, it's a short-sleeved shirt. I have a blue checked short-sleeved shirt on and a pair of white shorts. I don't know. Oh, I think they're Adidas ones. These ones. A pair of white shorts on today. And I'm feeling quite. Does it make a difference when you make an effort to dress up, doesn't it? There was a plane coming over now. A lot of planes coming over. I think people are disappearing on holiday. Now, the email to the address to the show, as always, is Chris. Oh, it's a bit windy as well. This might not have been such a good idea coming outside today, but we should carry on. The email address to the show is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Once again, the birds are singing. Oh, I love it out here. I love it. Now, as I say, I've done my washing. Also, something very exciting happened this morning. I have been selected. Oh yes, I have been selected. Now, what have I been selected for? You can ask. Is it the Chief Idiots Award? The Worst Dressed Person's Award in the world? No. I've been selected to do something. No, I'm sorry. You're going to be disappointed. No, it's not my own show at the London Palladium or anything like that. I have been selected to be one of those TV people who watch TV and record what they're watching for the ratings. Yes, me, little me, ordinary Chris Reardon has been selected to be one of those people who do the TV ratings. So I have to tell them basically what I watch. Now, I've got to be honest. I don't watch an awful lot of television, but apparently that's all right because they need people who hardly watch any television at all. Can I put my little microphone down here? Oh, by the way, a couple of people asking because I'm actually got a microphone next to me on the left or on your right. If you're watching, someone was watching on the YouTube. It was actually my brother-in-law. And one of my YouTube correspondents, Audio Freak. Hello, sir. How are you? And he was asking, is this the microphone that you use to make the sound on the video? And the answer to that question is no. Believe it or not, the sound, if you're watching the video, the sound is coming from the microphone actually built into the camera. And I said all along, here goes another plane. It's one of those little two-man jobs. Can you do that quietly? Oh, here it comes. Oh no, it's a helicopter. Oh, they've come to get me. We love it. Don't you love all the sounds and the bits and pieces? It's so much better than the sterile environment of a studio, I think, don't you? We've got to come out more often. I've got to find out different locations to record the shows. If you've got any ideas, Anywhere where you'd like to see me doing a show, keep it clean, please. We don't want to go into any sordid places or anything like that. Nice places. I tell you where I'd like to do one, by the seaside. I'd love to do a little show by the seaside. You know what I might do one day when I'm working in Brighton? I'll stay down there. No, the thing is, I'd have to get up pretty early to do that before other people would be there, wouldn't I? Now, you can imagine all these people walking around, and I'm sitting there talking to a little black box. They think I was mad. Pardon? I'm not mad at all. I just pretend to be. Now, where were we? Sounds. We're talking about sounds. And, oh, I've lost the plot again. Oh, yes, selected. So I've been selected to be one of those TV people where you write down the information of what TV shows that you have to do. So I'll tell you all about it, because a man has to come and set up a piece of equipment in the house. I hope it's nice. I don't want any mingers coming round here. Or maybe I should have asked for a catalogue. Do they have a catalogue so that you can select the engineer that comes around to install these gadgets? I'm sorry, if he's not to my liking, he's not coming in the house. It's as simple as that. If he is to my liking, I might lock the door afterwards. Anyway, so that's the TV thing. Now, oh yes, the little camera. Audio Freak was asking, is it the same microphone? No. The microphone next to me, which I'm going to tap now, which you won't be able to hear if you're watching, okay? If you can hear this, right? That is the microphone I use to record the radio program. This one here, listen. Who's that? Do I hear a cat? I heard a meow then. Alright? I only use that to record the radio program. If you're watching the program, then the microphone I use is actually attached to the camera. Now, I've mentioned this before, I'm going to mention it again. My new little portable video camera, it's called Flip Camera. F-L-I-P. There's plenty of bits and pieces about it on the internet, so have a good look. And just, once again, I'm going to say it again, I'm amazed by the sound quality and the picture quality of such a tiny gadget. And even, one of the things that you often get with microphones, when you get the slightest bit of wind, it throws everything haywire and you can't hear anything. The wind does affect it, as it does infect indeed, as indeed it does affect the little microphone I'm holding, but not so much as I would have thought. So very pleased. So that, I hope that answers your question, Audio Freak. If you're watching, the sound is coming direct from the little microphone on the camera. And it's nice to hear all the birds and everything singing, as I said so many times, on this rather colour-coordinated day. Alright? What else? Oh, just got a phone call about literally 5 minutes ago before I started the show today from my sister, dear Sharon, up in Woodhall Spa, Lincolnshire, to inform me that my nephew, Jimmy... Oh, hang on. I nearly dropped it. I do apologise. Did you hear that? I nearly dropped you then, didn't I? That's me trying to be clever. What I need is some sort of an attachment here to hold the microphone in front of me. Yes, my nephew, the football one, 11 years old, Jimmy, has won an award, boys and girls. Hey! Everyone clapping, I hope. Jimmy has won an award for his football. So I'm quite pleased about that. Well done, Jimmy. I must ring him when I finish the show. Okay, now what else has been going on? I watched this programme. Now, I don't know if anyone's watched this here in the UK, called Villa Uncut. Now, it's on Sky 3. And it's about these group of young 20-somethings. I think there's 8 of them altogether. And they all go to Spain or somewhere and they get put in the villa and everything is filmed. Well, you've never seen anything like it on the telly. They are animals. Absolutely animals. All over each other, boys and girls, and getting drunk every night, throwing each other in the pillows, and then from one bed to the next. It's shocking how some people carry on. It really is. So please, I'm warning you here, don't watch it if you're faint-hearted. What's it called? Villa Uncut, that's it. Yeah, there's cameras everywhere, snogging all over the place. Do you think that's really because I feel disgusted by that, or because I'm jealous I'm not there? I'm not quite sure, to be honest. Has anyone else seen that programme? Do let me know on the email. It's chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. At night time, they all go into wherever the town is, and the camera, it's the camera or the bloke who's doing the narration. He says at 12 o'clock they leave the villa. I mean, 12 o'clock at midnight, they start going out. And then the cameras go into the town, and there's all these flashing lights and people walking around drunk as anything, and I can't think of anything worse. I'm just trying to remember if I was ever like that, and I'm sure I wasn't. I'm sure I wasn't. People assume because you're a DJ, you're out with banging music and noise in the house all the time. I tell you what, well, listen to this. Right, listen. Can you hear all that? There's no noise here at all, is there? I rarely have music on in the house. I like the peace and quiet. I love it. Love just to sit here, sometimes in the garden, in the sunlight. The cats usually sit on the floor next to me or might jump on my lap. And it's just lovely to be sitting here in the peace and quiet, kind of thinking about things. I often think in the garden, while I'm out in the garden, I sit on the chair over there and look around, and I remember things or people that have been in the garden. Funny really, strange. Used to have a big thermometer under there, and I always remember Mum, Dad and Nanny Hayes standing under it when it read 100 degrees Fahrenheit, because that must have been 15 years ago. I've got that picture somewhere, all three of us. I remember Mum sitting over there. I remember one of my friends who just split up with someone sitting here on the floor, exactly where I'm sitting now, but he was sitting on the floor and he had all these photographs out of the person that he just split up with, and he was in tears. It's funny really how you sit there kind of remembering, I suppose, the ghosts of yesterday. When I say ghosts, I don't necessarily mean someone who's died, but things that have happened, past events that have happened. And you can, you know, if you actually kind of sit there and look around, you can still see them. Ever tried that? I mean, where are you sitting at the moment? Just turn around and look, whether you're outside or inside. Maybe you're in the car. I mean, obviously not if you're driving along at 70 miles an hour. But if you're just sat in the car, sitting still, or outside or inside, have a look around you. Just have a look around. Can you see ghosts of yesterday? Still there. Bringing back sometimes happy and sometimes sad memories. Let us know what you think of that one, okay? Chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Now, we had a little article on the television last week about Lollipop ladies. Now, I've mentioned them on one of the shows a long time ago now. Lollipop ladies are like the saviours of children getting to and from school, crossing those busy roads. Basically, they've got these like things that look like lollipops, and when it's time to start or finish school, as the children cross the road, these lollipop ladies and indeed lollipop men come out into the road, put their lollipop in the middle of the road, and the traffic is supposed to stop. And 9 times, most of the time, this happens. But after watching a news programme, I was shocked to find out that they are actually on the end of quite a lot of abuse. You wouldn't have thought it, would you? All these people are doing are helping children across the road. And they really are open to all sorts of abuse, and you just wouldn't fathom it, really. So I had a little word with the lollipop lady who I know quite well, that I pass 3, 4, 5 times a week when I'm cycling up to the swimming pool. And I said, do you ever get anyone to shout at you? She says, oh yes, quite a lot of the time. I said, well, what do they shout? Things like get out of the road. and other abuse. That's amazing, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. I said, is there any particular group of people? This will get you. Is there a particular group of people that are more aggressive than others? And she says, you may be surprised to hear the actual mothers who are driving to these schools to pick up their little cherubs are actually high on that list. It's unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, as many times I've nearly been knocked off my bike by some mother that's once again left it to the last minute because she's oh so busy all the time. And she's tearing down these side roads at 40, 50 mile an hour easily. And quite honestly, why there aren't more accidents, I don't know. But to take it out, the lollipop ladies and men are generally quite elderly, usually 55 plus. I think we've got a few retired people doing it as well, and it is a very important job. But the last thing you want, I mean, you can, I shouldn't really say this perhaps, but you can understand when people get angry with traffic wardens and what have you. Now, I can hear one or two of you already. Oh, but they're doing a job. Oh, please, just leave it aside for now. I don't want to hear it. There's a hell of a lot of difference between a traffic warden and a lollipop lady. And if you're going to stand there and say, oh, they're both doing their job, please, just leave it out. I'm not interested. Get a brain on, will you? Lollipop ladies are very important. And I find it quite astounding that they are subject to abuse like that. So much so that on this particular news story, I'm sorry, I get itchy nose. On this particular news story, they are now issuing, as an experiment, some of the lollipop ladies up in Yorkshire, which is where Carl, our regular correspondent, lives, with cameras built in to the lollipops. And also cameras on, like, because some of them wear a hat. I don't know if it's a specific hat that they use for the job, but so, I've not got an itchy nose and I've got a tissue. I haven't got a tissue. Oh, fancy that coming out without a tissue. Oh, well, yes, I have. 1 minute. I'm going to have to blow my nose. Just a second. Oh, dear. Sorry. You never get Jay Leno, do you, on that American chat show host blowing his nose suddenly, do you? Some of these lollipop ladies will have cameras like built into the side of the hat so that they can film people, I suppose, or whether the camera's on all the time. I'm not quite sure how that works. My opinion of that is, what a shame that it's necessary to do something like that to people helping children. Shocking, isn't it? But also, how is this exactly going to hold the film? Is the film going to be held in the actual lollipop itself, or in the helmet that the lollipop people are wearing? If so, do you not think that would put them open to attack? Which I find a bit concerning. If someone was driving and suddenly shouted something at the lollipop lady and they realised there was a camera filming them, how likely would it be, I wonder, that that person, already we know they're aggressive because they've shouted at the lollipop person. So what's the chances that they will then stop the car, get out and do something? Grab the lollipop or the hat off and smash it on the ground or something like that. And at the end of these days, at the end of the day, these lollipop, they're not young people, okay? Most of them, I don't know if they are. I've never ever seen a lollipop person who's kind of under the age of 55. Which I think makes them vulnerable. And I do wonder if putting a camera in their helmet or their lollipop leaves that open to abuse, or leaves them open to even more nasty attacks. What do you think of that? Let us know on the email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Now I'm looking at the clock and I can't remember what time I started the show now. Oh, what an idiot I am. Now, do I finish on the hour or a minute to the hour? I can't remember now. Oh, it's all very confusing. It really is. Now, got some emails to do. Meanwhile, let me finish off telling you about the more recent visit to my sister's. Well, I say recent, it was about 6 weeks ago now, wasn't it? Hope you enjoyed the videos on the last couple of shows, incidentally. Those of you watching on YouTube, there was a little bit extra there for you. Okay? So, now where were we? Oh yes, so I was at my niece's house because her husband, not her husband, well, I would like him to be her husband. Living with your boyfriend, whatever has the world come to. Huh? So, my nephew and I were round at my niece's house and we sat there watching telly, having ice cream, biscuits came out. Oh, we love it. I've got it. Oh yes, I nearly forgot. Bless me, Suko, for I have sinned. 1 packet, since we last spoke. 1 packet, a whole packet, yeah, I know, of Cadbury's chocolate fingers. 1 Mars bar. 3 bags of cheese and onion crisps. And 1 bacon, lettuce and tomato sandwich. Now, it was a triple sandwich, I'm afraid. But, Suko, wait, before you say anything, I didn't intend that. It was 50% free. So, I couldn't get just 2. But what I did is I had 2 and a half of the free one and threw the rest of it away. I'm sorry. We do hear from Suko in today's show. She sent a few emails in. Okay, so we had telly, ice cream, biscuits, which was rather good. And then we walked back to my sister's house. And as always, I don't know how many more years he's going to be doing this with me, but as always, near my sister's house there is a little hill. It's not very high, only about a foot high, and it goes down like this. And my nephew and I rolled down the hill. Now, if you did get a chance to watch the YouTube videos, you will have seen that on there. Oh yes, it's all filmed. My entire life before the world. Sad, isn't it? Now, I have to say, Tracy's house is a bit messy. Now, I didn't mention it to her, but I do think she needs tidying up lessons. Now, I was speaking to my sister last night on the phone, and I mentioned to her that Tracy's room is really an extension of her bedroom. Regular listeners to the show will know that my niece used to have possibly one of the most untidy bedrooms I've seen in my entire life. Well, now she's got the house and the boyfriend. It seems, I shouldn't really tell you this, it seems that the house has become an extension of her bedroom. Do you know what I mean? It's not dirty, don't get me wrong. It's not dirty. There aren't bits of food all over the kitchen surface or anything like that. It's not dirty. It's just messy. Piles of clothes everywhere. A few little bit of washing up waiting to be done. Papers on the table. I mean, I thought I was bad, to be honest, but blimey. I think it's going to come into. I bet next time I go round there, I'm going to have to make a surprise visit with the camera. We'll make a surprise visit and we'll just see how long it takes us to find somewhere to sit down. Oh, she's fab, the niece. We love the niece. Now, let me see. So that was it. Watched a bit of telly when we got home. And then my nephew went to bed and I went upstairs to what is now the spare room in my sister's house, which I've tried to claim as my room. You see, the thing is, my other nephew, Gary, lives there with his girlfriend. And there's a bit of a fight going on at the moment for Tracy's old bedroom, because Gary and his girlfriend, they want it as their lounge. And what a cheek! They want it as a lounge. And Jimmy, the 11-year-old, wants it as his playing room, where he's got all his toys and all those computer things, because it's a big television in the room. And there's me, who wants it as my personal room when I go up there. I mean, I could set up another little studio in there, couldn't I? So I don't know who's going to win. I have a feeling it won't go to me. So it'd be very interesting to see, and I shall keep you fully informed on who gets the room. Okay? So went to bed. Wednesday, got up about 11 o'clock in the morning. And at this point, of course, I'm now falling into holiday mode. That means you don't get shaved, you don't wash your hair. No, come on, I'm not that bad. But I did feel that I was in holiday mode, and of course Wednesday I didn't have to do anything. That's what I love when I move up my sisters, or when I go up to my sisters. Hark at me saying move up there, maybe I should, I don't know. I don't have to do anything. So it was quite pleasant. Got up at 11 o'clock, straight in the kitchen. 3 hot sausage rolls for breakfast. I mean, it's all bad eating when I go up there, isn't it? Now, my usual breakfast here in Royal Berkshire is porridge and a couple of different types of fruit. Now, today I've only had a piece of toast, but later on I shall have my porridge with just a sprinkling of demerara sugar, and I've got grapes and blueberries and bananas. I did have some strawberries in there, and foolishly I let them go out of date. And you know, when strawberries go out, when they go out of date and they start smelling, but it's not unpleasant, is it? Have you ever had strawberries in the fridge and you've forgotten about them, and you open the fridge door and you get this most wonderful smell of strawberries? You ever done that? And then you look and there's a few mouldy ones in there. Why is it we can't, why is it bad to eat mould directly? Because they make penicillin from it, don't they? Or is that a specific type of mould? Can you not eat, if you was to eat, a few mouldy items per day, would that stop you getting all sorts of diseases, I wonder? Should I try it? Or will I end up on the toilet for a week? Eh? Well, anyway, so that's my usual breakfast. But up there, I'm afraid it was 3 sausage rolls out the cupboard and into the microwave. Very tasty. And also, dare I say, a bag of cheese and onion crisps. But they were baked crisps, okay? There's a big difference there. Baked crisps and I think fried crisps. These were baked Walker's crisps, cheese and onion. So that was breakfast. Very different from my porridge, I'm afraid. Jimmy and I, at this point, decided to go filming. Yes, Jimmy was the new reporter. And what a good job he did. If you've been watching the YouTube videos, you will have seen those by now. Jimmy Butler taking us around Woodhall Spa with Uncle Chris. And we met a few people while we were out. We went into Tracy's pub and we did all that, didn't we? We went into the local hotel. There's a couple of hotels there. There's the Golf Hotel, which is they're both fairly big. And there's the Petwood Hotel. Both are on the internet if you want to have a look at what those are about. Lovely places, both of them. We filmed in the shops. We went in the sweet shop, the cake shop, which was very tempting. Fortunately, I had no money with me, so we couldn't buy any cakes. As I say, we went into Tracy's pub. Unfortunately, with no money, and I mentioned this to my niece Tracy, who immediately went over to her purse and gave us a few pennies for ice creams. How nice is that, eh? Thank you, Tracy. Uncle remembers these things always. Don't you worry. The Lord will reward you in heaven. And I rewarded you with the dishwasher. Jimmy dropped his ice cream, unfortunately, on the way home. That's because we were mucking about. Oh, yeah. I chase after him and he chases after me. And we hide. And unfortunately, I ate my ice cream. What did I have? Toffee and caramel. Oh, it's to die for. It is to die for. Toffee and caramel ice cream. So we're running along, and then suddenly Jimmy dropped his ice cream on the floor. Never mind, because we were falling about. So I got back to the house about, I think it was about 5:30. Had a quick little sleep in my little afternoon siesta. Then we got up again because we were going to go to the cinema at the Kinema in the Woods. I've mentioned on previous programmes. Look it up on the internet. Kinema, Kinema, Kinema in the Woods. And we went to see a film. As always, Jimmy chose the film, and it was called The Streets. Now, I had no idea what this was about. Last time we went to the cinema, I think we went to see something 5, was it? Ocean's 11, I think it was called. Now, he chose that again, and I have to say, we didn't think much of that. The one before that we went to see was Mr. Bean's Holiday, again, which he chose. Pretty average film. This film, which Jimmy chose, was called The Streets. Boys and Girls, a film all about some kids who do hip-hop dancing. And I'm very impressed. And I could see myself and my nephew taking up hip-hop dancing and possibly forming our own hip-hop group. Now, I have tried to do dancing, but I usually end up falling. I mean, these youngsters, they're really good, aren't they, at the dancing, the hip-hop dancing and all that. Very clever. Not for me, I'm afraid. The film, out of 10, for me, I don't know, 4, but it doesn't matter. As long as he enjoyed it. As always, we had what did he have in there? I think he had sweets and an ice cream. Did we have another ice cream in there? We did a lot of ice cream while I was up at my sister's. Also in the cinema, you can see as you go in, it's a very old-fashioned thing, and there's all these old projectors and things like that. And I recognised a little gadget that I had as a child. And it's like this I can't explain it. It's like a projector, very made of plastic. It's only a cheap thing. And with it comes these little long, bits of cardboard with cellophane pictures in them all. And you turn the projector on, and a light, obviously, in the projector shines on the wall, and you insert these strips of cardboard pictures into the camera and shine them on the wall. Did you ever have one of those, anyone? I think it was Chad Valley that made it. Who had one of those? I bet some of you had one of those, didn't you? A child's projector. Do let me know if you had one of those and what films came with it. I can't remember. I think one of them might have been Star Wars. Would it have been? No, it was before that. No, it wasn't Star Wars. They would cartoon type things. Did anyone have one of those Chad Valley projectors? And if you did, what films, what little pictures? Well, they weren't really films because they weren't moving, but little images that you could shine onto your bedroom wall. Who had one of those? Do let me know. Email address chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Oh, and what was the other thing? Do you remember the other thing that you used to have? And it was like a pair of binoculars. And again, you got these images on a circular piece of card. And you dropped the circular card in the top of this binocular type thing. I can't remember for the life of me what it was called. And you'd look through it, hold it up at the light, and then again you'd see pictures in I think some of them were in 3D, weren't they? Coming through your eyes. Who had one of those? Huh? Did you have one of those? chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I want to know about this. And what little pictures did you have? What pictures did you have for that? Because you could get all sorts of different sets for that. I remember that. But with the Chad Valley projector, I think I only ever had the set of pictures that came with it. But I don't remember. It might have been Mickey Mouse. Might have been Mickey Mouse. If you had one, tell me what sort of films you had with it. I also had, when I was older, when I was a teenager, I think I was 16 or 17, I saved up for a cine camera. I'm sure Some of you had one of those. And these, you had to load little films in, and they would last about a minute. And then you'd do your... I had a silent one, there was no sound on it. You'd do your filming, and then you would have to send the film off to be developed. And I'm telling you all this, right, because we've probably got some youngsters watching this who haven't got it, who have never seen this. Yep, it's all very well, this particular YouTube video, it's all digital and you push a button and it all works and that's the end of it. 20 years ago, you couldn't do any of this, of course. I mean, this is only in the last few years we've been able to do this, and it's fantastic. With the old cine cameras, you'd have to load in a film a little bit like a normal film camera. The film would last about 3 minutes, so you go and do your filming. Mine was all silent, there was no sound on it. Do your filming, you'd then send your film away to be developed, and then it would come back to you. And then you'd load it into a projector and project the image onto a wall. You couldn't play it through a television or anything like that. If you had like lots of little films, you could then buy, and I had one of these as well, you could then buy a little gadget and it would come, it's like a little metal block and some like little bits of special tape, and you'd get 2 small films and then you'd tape them together and you'd end up with one big reel, and that's what you had to do. Anyone else have one of those? I bet some of you had a Super 8 video camera, didn't you? Huh? Let us know about it. I want to know what filming did you do? Chris at UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. So, we walked home. On the way home, on the way back to my sister's house, we did play trains. Yes, and I was the engine, as always. We love it. I never grew up, did I? I told you I never grew up. We used the light on my mobile phone because it was very dark. That was exciting because we're down this dark alley. Oh, that was funny. Jimmy, of course, being Jimmy, he knows all the shortcuts where he is. And there is a couple of dark alleys. Not the same sort of dark alleys, I hasten to add, that you'd find on a housing estate, where you'd be a little bit nervous of going down. These are like dark alleys, like cut-throughs in the from the main road to where my sister's house is. And we went down one of those. And of course, I said, "Don't come down here on your own, do you?" And he said, "No, never." I said, "Good. Always stick to the main road at night." But of course, I was with him. So he went first, and he took the... I gave him my mobile phone with the little light, and he's got a torch in the front. And as he's walking down there, and I'm a little bit further behind, and then suddenly all these birds flew out of a bush and he jumped out of his skin. I'm not surprised. You know, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, suddenly there's this rustling in these bushes, and whoosh, all these birds went out. He jumped out of his skin. That was quite funny. We got home. We then played another game of DVD bingo, because he'd gone out to a shop at some point and bought this guy. Did I buy it for him? No. Oh, I might have done. I can't remember now. It doesn't matter. But we've got this DVD bingo. You put your DVD in the machine, and you play bingo, and it comes with the cards. And it's the one of the worst, awfulest DVDs I've ever seen in my life. You've got these 2 hosts, and they're just so cheesy, it's unbelievable. You know, you've got the blonde, very pretty girl with about 10 inches of makeup, who's about 25 years old. And it's all smiles and teeth, and it's just too much. You see, it's like these breakfast programs on the radio in the morning, which most of them I can't bear, because they're all happy, how are you today? And it's just so false, isn't it? You know, when I'm smiling or happy, I generally am. I don't put it on. Similarly, I'm sure you notice sometimes maybe when I'm a little bit down, and I can't bear these programs and radio shows where it's all up all the time, because life isn't like that, is it? Sometimes it is down. Although I hope you're not too down when you're watching or listening to this. I will try and make you smile now and again with my extra long elongated finger, which will tickle you under your arms if you're not careful. So we played DVD bingo. Sharon, my sister, and her husband Martin, and we called Nan in as well, Doreen, and we're all there playing bingo. Now, my sister and her husband, they are not late bed goers. They're generally in bed by about 11:30 at night. I managed to make them start till 1:30 in the morning. Something I've never done before with them. And you could see the eyes were getting redder and redder, and they get more and more tired. I'm very naughty. I know I'm very naughty. So we stayed up till then playing bingo until 1:30 in the morning. And then actually we all went to bed. I went to bed as well, 1:30 in the morning, which is unusual for me. But I'd had a nice day and I was a bit tired as well. So there we are. Way past their bedtime, of course. Way past their bedtime. Then, of course, it was Thursday. My last day. Thursday already. So, got up. No sausage rolls left. Very disappointing. And I said to my sister, "Where's the sausage rolls, sis?" She said, I've been, this is how she talks, she said, "I've been down to the co-op and they haven't done them yet. They were still cooking them, so I weren't able to get them." I thought, oh, what am I going to eat? I'm going to starve. I'm going to get thinner and thinner. But fortunately, I looked over in the cupboard and I found crumpets. Yes, crumpets. So I had crumpets with butter and, yes, you guessed it, another bag of cheese and onion crisps. Baked crisps, mind. Baked, remember that. Then I went out for a walk in the forest, all on my own, because there's a little forest come National Trust sort of area there. And not the same as the forest where I live here. There aren't any of the tall pine trees or anything like that. There's quite a different variety of trees and plant life there. There's some streams running through it as well. And it's all very pleasant, really. Just walking through there for about an hour. I like walking. I do like walking in forests and things like that. By the way, I don't know if I told you this in the last show. I've started walking again. I've decided at least 3 times a week I will go and walk for an hour fast. So I've started that again now because, well, I just want to continue having the old heart pounding nice and quickly. Got to be fit. Got to be fit. So I was in the nature reserve on my own. Very nice. Really nice there. After that, got back to my sister's house, and the cat is asleep on her car. Fast asleep, this cat. Busted the cat. Big cat. Not as big as your cat, Susan, incidentally, because she's got a big bobcat that sleeps in most of her bed. I don't know how there's room for both of them. We had shepherd's pie for dinner, and I left at 3:30 in the afternoon because I was going there directly from my sister's house to do a karaoke night at the Steam Coach, a one-off, an all-night karaoke night at the Steam Coach on a Thursday night. So I left there at 3:30. Hardly any traffic, really. But of course, driving around in Lincolnshire in the middle of all these farms in the afternoon means tractors. And I did get stuck behind a couple of tractors, which is a bit annoying. But of course, it's something I suppose you've got to get used to when you're up there. When I'm driving around at night, you don't get any of this. So it did take longer to get into Hemel Hempstead, which is where the pub is that I was working. But we got there in the end, did the karaoke, and I got home about 1:50 in the afternoon, in the morning. That's Friday morning, so Thursday night, Friday morning. Got back about 1:15 in the morning. The cats were all okay, and I was pleased to see that the cats had finished all the food. So that hadn't gone to waste. Although I've been watching, I think I mentioned on the last show, I've been watching birds. Magpies, one just flown over there. Magpies have been eating my cat's food. What a cheek. Munching away at my cat's food. I see them. And then when I appear at the window, they quickly flutter away. Yes, they know they're in trouble. Alright, so that's it. The visit to my sister's is complete. You're probably saying, thank God for that. Well, there was a little bit more I was going to tell you about. My brother-in-law and my sister. There is a safe in the house, which I shan't... Oh, I'm itchy ear again. Oh, the itchy ears started again. Oh, that hurts. Hurts, but they've got a safe in the house. I won't tell you where it is, but they've got a safe. And the other day, it got stuck. So they had to call a man out. How long do you think it took this bloke to get the safe open? He arrived there just after 1 o'clock one afternoon, and he left there at just after midnight. Can you believe it? 11 hours to get a safe open. Apparently he had all sorts of different little drills and things like that he was getting through, and he never stopped. He's there on his hands and knees getting this safe open. All sorts of different drills, because I gather the safe is made up of lots of different types of metals. I'm not quite sure how it all works, but he got it open in the end. My brother-in-law was saying that the patience of that sort of job. I mean, you must have all the. I could never do a job like that. How much patience do you have to get a safe open like that? 11 hours he was working, never even stopped for lunch or anything. That's unbelievable, isn't it? Could never do a job like that. But it just shows you that these safes possibly are worth having. I mean, I don't have one myself, but on the other hand, there's no cash in the house, so, maybe I should get one. What could I put in there? Myself, in case anyone steals me, perhaps? On the other hand, who would want to steal me? That's the question. Anyway, so he got the safe open in the end. How much do you think that cost? £400 to get the safe open. £400. Oh, dear me. Put the money in the bank, dear. That's what I say. For $800 to get a safe open. Mind you, 11 hours he was there, didn't stop till he got the thing open. And apparently, something, I don't know how it works, some sort of bar had dropped down. And the bloke was saying it's likely that when the safe was made, because it's very old, when the safe was made years and years ago, it's likely that something hadn't been screwed up properly, and that's why the bar had dropped down. Anyway, it's all open now, and he filled the hole in with some special stuff so that if someone was to break in and they found the safe, they wouldn't know that it had been opened at some point. God knows how that works. Some sort of special... I don't know how it works. Don't ask me. I'm not a safe person. Right, let's go on to some emails. Don't forget the email address. It's chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I've just got to say, sometimes I'm sitting here chatting to you, and I think to myself, what a load of old rubbish you've just been saying. Do you ever think that about the shows? I do. Let's do some emails then. First from Susan. Hello, Susan. Who says, hello, it's Susan again. Don't you think, she's talking a bit politics here, don't you think it's a coincidence, now I've got to be careful how I say this, that the heads of our government are the names Bush, this is America, Bush, Dick, and Colin. All names are vulgar slang for various parts. I think this collective consciousness was trying to warn us that we're all about to get done over. Now Colin has resigned, but here we go again. The new general is named Petraeus, yeah. This rhymes with Betrayus. Another coincidence? Don't say that you heard this from me. Of course not. It's our secret chat, Susan. Don't worry. Not a word. Say you heard this from Anonymous. By the way, over here it's pronounced anonymous. So anonymous, okay? Anonymous. The way you say it always makes me think of a moose. Oh, Anonymous is not a moose, is he? He's a very good writer, actually. Thank you, Susan. But I see what you're saying there. Betrayus now. We've got Betrayus now, haven't you? Here in the UK, have we got, I don't know, Brown. I mean, that's not... I don't know. Not going to go any further down that line. Hello, Tony. Tony says, Chris, each to his own. On the subject of tea, because I mentioned to you I like the Twinings English breakfast tea is my favourite one. At the moment, I've got Whittards of Chelsea. Comes in. Let me just go and get it, and then I can. 1 minute. Get the tea bags. That's it. There's my tea bags. I've got Whittards of Chelsea organic tea bags, which were bought for me as a birthday present, and I've got to say, I think these to me taste even better than the Twinings English breakfast one, and I'm going to order some of these because I'm nowhere near Chelsea here, and I don't drive into London because it's a real pain. Parking costs, congestion charge, all that is a pain, real pain. Oh, by the way, incidentally, if you follow British politics at all or anything like that, you'll probably already know now that we do now have a new mayor in London, Boris Johnson, or BoJo. He's been nicknamed BoJo. I love it. He's conservative, so London is now being run by a conservative authority. Okay, Boris Johnson. I don't know what. I'm not quite sure what he's going to do. Whether things will improve or not in London. I did like Ken. Ken Livingstone was the guy before him. I did like him. I think what he did with the buses and the tubes and the bus lanes, I actually think he was really good. But I think he took a step too far with the parking enforcement cameras. Yeah, okay, yeah, I know what you're thinking. You're saying that because you've got a parking ticket. Well, yes, but even so, common sense should tell you you don't need to be giving out parking tickets after midnight. Do you? Come on, be honest. Huh? Tony says, I like Earl Grey tea. No, I'm not keen on that at all, Tony. I don't like it. It smells of perfume. Not only is it refreshing, but I enjoy the taste. I find it also a bit weak, don't you? Do you not find Earl Grey tea a bit weak? He says, good on you for using the solar panels. I too use them, but the panels I use are portable. The largest of which is 20 watts, 12 volts. That I use for charging a 7 amp hour battery to charge and run my two Sony camcorders and infrared illuminators. Well, Tony, I've actually got two systems here that I've mentioned before. I think it was a long time since we talked about the old solar panels. Some are on my roof. Okay, that's a 3 kilowatt system. But I only ever get about 2.5 kilowatts out of it because after a certain time the sun disappears behind the trees. So I've got that on the roof, but also, and I'm going to show you this and describe it to you, also I have a solar panel I set up by myself on a tree in the garden. Now that panel, just a minute, all my papers are just blowing all over the place. That panel there, which is on, if you're watching the YouTube video, I'm going to show you this. Well, you can see it now already. I've moved the camera around. It's a large panel on a pine tree, which has been up there now about a year and a half, and that it's about, let me just describe it. It's about 2 foot wide and 4 foot long altogether. That's attached to the tree. I'm running out of time here, and I'm now going to show you where that goes. Okay. Right, so the panel's on the tree. Down the tree is the cable that the panel is shoving its power through. Now the cable is then hidden behind some plants, actually attached to the fence behind all the plants here, and it then comes into a little lean-to shed which I have. That panel is charging. There's like a device in this lean-to shed, okay, where the electricity goes into, and then it's charging one very large battery. There's actually 2 batteries here, but I'll tell you about the other one in another show. It's charging a very large battery there, okay, and from there the wiring goes into the house. I've got a couple of white wires. They're not actually the correct wires, to be honest, but it's what I had at the time. The wiring goes into the house and powers all the lighting that I use in the house. So there we are, Tony, just for your I know you're interested in that. Oh, I've just sat down on the wrong part of the chair there. That hurt, that did. Oh, I bet I'll have a bruise there later. All right, Tony. So I thought that'd interest you. So what let's see. He's got a smaller panel which he uses to charge a 7 amp hour battery. Yeah, that big battery I just showed you is 110 amps, that one. Okay, to charge and run my 2 Sony camcorders and infrared illuminators. Good. Well, actually, I don't actually think that I get the most out of that little system I installed. Because, and I'll tell you why I say that, the lights never go out. Okay, so I have a feeling that battery is pretty fully charged up, even through the winter months. I've never had to recharge the battery with a normal charger plugged into the electricity or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is connect an inverter to it and start powering perhaps 1 or 2 of my gadgets. Now, an inverter, for those of you who are not technical, it's something you attach to a battery to give you mains voltage, and it changes the electricity to 240 volts. So I'm going to try that and maybe run possibly one of the televisions in the house off it or something like that. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do. Now, how are we doing for time? Oh, we're nearly out of time. I'm going to have to go, I think. I'm just going to... Tony, can I come back to your email on the next show? I'm going to come back to your email on the next show, okay? Just quickly then, and Suko. Oh, there was a couple of emails from Suko. Hang on, and Nick. Sorry about that. We run out of time for those other emails, haven't we? Just a quick one from Suko, who says, on the subject of my sunglasses, that square ones do look better on me. But she says, with the round ones, you can look at things better. As what there is to look at here, to be honest. Only my cats. Thanks as always for joining me for the show today. Another one in a couple of days' time. Don't forget the main United Kingdom Talk website is unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. You can find your links to most of the stuff there, the email and everything, alright? unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I'll see you in the next show. For myself, Chris Reardon. Bye bye.